Once again, you are at Real Turkey channel, dear spectators, and today's topic is Turkey's Annus Horribilis, or in English, the year of disasters, or the terrible year. For Latin speakers, I apologize for my terrible pronunciation of the great language of Latin. And indeed, it has been a very bad year for Turkey, which is already suffering from economic hardship, which has been struck by a series of disasters. Obviously, COVID 19 is a problem common to planet Earth. In Turkey, it has waxed and waned. Currently, it's on the rise again, with 26,000 cases per day at last count. But there are others, some of which is also common to other countries. First of all, a once a century drought devastated farming communities. Then we had something unique to Turkey called mucilage or sea snot. The Marmara Sea is an inner sea that connects Black Sea to the Mediterranean, and it's sort of the lifeline or the center of Turkish economic and tourism activity. Mucilage has now sunk to the bottom, threatening marine life. As if these were not enough, wildfires have sprung up at hundreds of locations at the same time. Their economic impact is certainly negative, but not yet certain. I'm sorry. Their economic impact is certainly negative, but not yet measurable, but their psychological impact has been devastating. I want to go through these, how they started, how big they are, and then I want to understand, are these just nature's way of getting back at us for treating her miserably? Or is there a common denominator? Could, for instance, the government or its agencies have done a better job of preparing for these and, preventing, averting the worst? And my answer would be, yeah, no doubt about it. Let's start with COVID. You see the progress of COVID cases from 22 from February of 22 to July 19th. As you see, it goes up and down again with several peaks. Let's return to 2021. We had it licked thanks to prolonged curfews and severe restrictions on social mobility, but more importantly, to a brave and rapid vaccination campaign. We finally procured enough BioNTech vaccines, the new mRNA vaccines from Germany, and uh, invited people to get vaccinated as soon as possible. While the cases waned, President Erdogan made another mistake. He got greedy. He wanted economic recovery. He didn't want to lose the tourism season. So one night, bang, as soon as cases dropped to 5K, he lifted all the all the restrictions. People, as everywhere in the world, were already extremely frustrated with the days and weeks they spent at their homes, sometimes without jobs, and they flocked to the beaches, to public arenas to visit their relatives and friends. As importantly, we accepted Russian tourists. Please don't misunderstand me. I have great respect for Russians, but most of them were unvaccinated or vaccinated with Sputnik vaccines, which don't provide good protection against the new Delta variant. And they were let in with fake vaccine certificates. Finally, Turkey has become the primary destination for Afghan refugees fleeing Taliban, and I suspect that they also brought Delta and probably some other novel variants with them. No one knows because none of them are tested. As a result, all of these variants got a chance to mix freely and probably create new ones. And right after Eid al-Adha, the greatest religious festival of Islam, also called Eid al-Hajj, the pilgrimage festival, cases soared. As of yesterday, this is Thursday, 5th of August. So on 4th of August, cases jumped to 26,000 with 170 daily deaths, and restrictions are starting again. I don't know how the people of Turkey would handle new curfews or lockdowns. I see everywhere else in the world there is great frustration and anger with the government. Let's move to mucilage. I think visual aids are much better than 1,000 words, and I'm hoping soon I'll get footage, and instead of showing my ugly mug, I'll show you actual events. Mucilage covered the surface of Marmara, at least the coastal regions. I don't want to give you a long technical discussion of what mucilage is caused by, but this year it is related to the low flow of rivers feeding Marmara Sea. Obviously, there is great amount of untreated sewage and industrial discharge into these rivers, but when the flow is high, uh, they mix with clean water, and you don't see the mucilage problem. But when Marmara is drying out because of extreme heat, you see this scene. The government immediately claimed victory when mucilage disappeared from the surface. And indeed, today, if you see aerial photos of Marmara, it looks pristine. Yeah, this was a satirical laugh, by the way. It has all sunk to the bottom where it is most dangerous. Imagine food covered with celluloid. Bacteria and oxygen can penetrate. The same thing is happening at the bottom of Marmara. Fish can't lay eggs. If they do, they cannot be spermiated. Whatever is underneath that thin veneer cannot breathe, cannot receive oxygen. I don't know if this is generalized because these are photos taken by scuba divers, but if it is, marine life will be destroyed. After Black Sea, Marmara is the second biggest fishery of Turkey, and more importantly, it is, as I've said, I mean, for the people who live at the Marmara Basin, over 25 million, it is the primary source of tourism, weekend getaways, etc., etc. Its destruction would be a great loss. And then finally, as I've said, once it rains, it pours. Turkey is in the midst of a drought which only arrives once a century. These are not my words, it's the words of a meteorologist whom I respect greatly. This is a map from BBC News Turkish. The blackened areas are extraordinary drought. As you see, they covered southeast and parts of the Aegean, both of which are extremely fertile. Southeast, oil seeds as well as vegetables and cotton. To the west, the blackened area is one of the most productive agricultural areas. It has everything, but mostly export-related items. And the brownish brick or tile-covered areas are severe drought. Look to the left of the map. You will see an hourglass-shaped area. This is where Konya is, which is the breadbasket of Turkey. According to reports by United States Department of Culture, Turkey will import record quantities of grains, and as you know, food commodity prices are rising in dollar terms across the world, which means Turkey's import bill will go up substantially this year, and that will add both to Turkey's current account deficit as well as to rising food price inflation. I didn't produce charts for that, but Turkey's headline CPI reached 19% as of July and is expected to climb even further. I'm sorry, this is really thirsty talk because all this bad news makes my throat dry. And Turkey's food inflation on a year basis reached 25%. And now let's get to the topical topic. Forest fires or wildfires. Well, they're happening everywhere. Turkey is no exception. If you live in the United States, you probably know California. If you live in the Mediterranean basin, Italy, Greece, and in Turkey, they suddenly sprung up overnight in more than 50 locations. They spread across the south and Aegean, all the coastal regions, and then to the interior of Anatolia. To the best of my counting abilities, over 10 days, Turkey reported 180 forest fires. 150 of them have been stomped down, but roughly 20 are ongoing, and there are new ones each day as temperatures climb to over 40 degrees centigrade or Celsius. Currently, the worst of them is in Mugla. It's where Bodrum is. You may be familiar with that area because you may have vacationed there. It is currently engulfing a coal-fired power plant where reportedly 40,000 metric tons of coal is still stored. If that starts burning, there would be carbon monoxide poisoning, and that means an environmental disaster of biblical proportions. Obviously, I'm going to focus on wildfires because they pose significant threats not only to human life, which is the most important thing, and to our natural wealth, which is trees, as well as the entire habitat of animals, including bees, insects, and whatever mammals have been left from hunting and wanton destruction of forests, but also to tourism. This is a beach where everything has burned down. So far, I can't confirm that there have been large scale reservation cancellations, but anecdotal evidence suggests that people are shying away from Turkey. Tourism season, according to official figures, was expected to generate $20 billion. And August is the peak month with an estimated revenue of $4 billion. If we lose that, it's going to be extremely difficult to contain current account deficits, which means even faster Turkish lira depreciation and higher inflation. This is another scene, you know, no words are needed. Of course, the bigger thing is public morale. I mean, Turks have received blow after blow this year, and now, one of the most densely populated areas of Turkey, the Mediterranean slash Aegean uh, coastal areas, have been psychologically brought down by these endless fires, by the fear and anxiety of fires reaching your community, your livestock, your beehives, etc., etc. And I'm not a meteorological expert, but apparently there's another week of this horrible hot, dry weather to go through before things calm down. Let's go to the implications. Again, I have another table of contents here, very, very poorly placed. Shame on you, Attila. It is strange that none of these events have made a dent on Turkey's growth performance. Turkey is expected to grow 6-7% this year, according to our President Erdogan. Of course, the validity and accuracy of economic data needs to be questioned, but I'm not going to get into it. Now, these all look like natural disasters, including COVID 19, for the Delta variant of which no cure have been found. And I can also argue that even for best economic management, health management around the world, there are these vaccine deniers for one reason or other who stymie entire societies from reaching herd immunity. But in Turkey, it's hard to claim that these are true natural disasters. I think the common denominator of these events is the Erdogan regime. You may accuse me being a political hack, but I want to provide some evidence here. Obviously, forest fires cannot be blamed on the Erdogan regime. But why are they so devastating? They are so devastating because for 20 years, Erdogan regime stood by as commercial developers cut down forests to build residences and hotels or to convert them into agricultural land. The entire southern coastline was plundered by private interests, completely contrary to the public interest. You will see forests reach into the sea, and suddenly this big ugly scar where a five-star luxury hotel was built. And all the money went to private companies, to Erdogan's cronies. Why do we have so many COVID cases after having almost licked the disease? Well, there are vaccine uh, uh, deniers in Turkey as well. But the reason is Mr. Erdogan's greed and his hasty effort to make some money in the tourism season. He lifted the curfews and social restrictions too rapidly. And moreover, while every country on earth is making very strenuous efforts to only accept people who are twice vaccinated and, clean of any virus, Turkey just opened the doors. You provide any PCE test, no matter from which lab, and bang, you are in Turkey. And these tourists have mixed with people who have not been vaccinated. And as a result, we have this extreme boom in in COVID cases. Drought, years of neglect of agriculture, poor management of water resources. Turkey has dammed every river and every creek to produce electrical energy and mindlessly tapped its underground aquifers for additional agricultural output, never minding the future, as a result of which we're, we're at this point. I want to show you a picture which I think demonstrates more clearly than my words how callous and ignorant of the plight of his people Mr. Erdogan has become. He went to Marmara, one of the worst affected areas by wildfires, with a cavalcade of 100 vehicles, his private ambulance, bodyguards, etc., etc., to address the people, to tell them that the government is doing its best to control these fires and things will get better. Do you know what he did? I wish I had video footage. He showered them with tea bags. Why? I don't understand. Why throw tea bags at people whose homes and farms have just burned? I think he is losing touch with reality. And I think he has completely lost the confidence of the people. This is a Turkish poll table from Metropole, who also publishes in English. Just tap Metropole with two L's and you'll find their English research. It asks participants whether Turkey is getting better or getting worse. Only 27.4% of people think Turkey is getting better. Let's look at the split of the opinions among party affiliation. 28% of AKP voters think Turkey is getting worse. AKP's ally in the administration is MHP. And here it is, okay, 50.6% of its voters think Turkey is getting worse. Let me repeat these figures. More than 1/4 of loyal AKP voters now admit that under Erdogan, Turkey is going to hell in a handbasket. More than a half of AKP's ally MHP's voters think Turkey is getting worse. You know, this is, I think, the bottom of the pit for Turkey. Unfortunately, the regularly scheduled elections are not until 2023, but I can't fathom how Erdogan and his administration can last until 2023 when they have wasted all of their political capital and when even their voters are losing faith in Erdogan's ability to set things right. Well, I have tried to be positive about Turkey. Of course, objectively, I don't make up stories. In fact, my last video claimed that Turkey was safe for tourism. Egg on my face. I shall continue to report the truth from Turkey as best as I can. I hope you liked this video and share it with your friends or anyone who cares to know about Turkey. Thank you very much for watching. This is Atilla Yeşilada saying goodbye from scorching hot Istanbul.